Hi everyone. Instead of a written announcement this week, I thought I would review the rhetorical criticism essay assignment because we didn't really get a good chance to do that when we were together in the classroom. So I just want to review the assignment in case some of you are still scratching your heads about what the heck are we supposed to be writing about. Because this week is a writing week. There are no more Blackboard discussion board posts due this week. So I want you to just focus on writing your essay. You can read through the assignment. It's posted on Blackboard, both in the schedule and in the announcements. And basically what you are doing is analyzing these two speeches, critically analyzing them for the use of pathos, logos, and ethos, and deciding which rhetor, and rhetor is just a fancy word for the speaker. Some people say orator. Rhetor is very common, but you might hear also people just say the speaker. Which one did the best job, and which appeals did he use most effectively, and in making it the most persuasive speech. So you're doing a critical analysis, and then you've already answered these questions, which is in the first part. I know y'all can see my screen here for both videos, and everyone did a good job. I only made a comment here and there if I thought that there was something that maybe you needed to think about in addition to what you wrote, but by and large, everybody did a great job. The context section is something I wanted to cover today. That is where your research element comes in. So as you can tell, it's just like our other paper. You have 4 to 5 or 3 to 5, I can't remember where that requirement is, 3 to 4 credible sources that you cite MLA style, and you write your paper, sorry about that, in MLA style, just like we did the other one. So you'll have a source page at the end of your essay, but this time, of course, there's no requirement for an academic journal article. You are looking for what was going on in the world when these speeches were delivered. They were just 31 months apart, so a lot of the same things were going on around both of these speeches. So that's what you're trying to do. This context section needs to be a historical backdrop. In other words, it needs to give readers that, believe it or not, what you need to think is they've never heard of Martin Luther King or John F. Kennedy. They've never heard of I Have a Dream, or they've never heard of Kennedy's inaugural address. What can you write that will give them some idea of why these speeches were given and what was going on around the speeches? For example, some of you said the event was the March on Washington. Yep, absolutely. But why? Why was there an event like that? What had been going on to make all those people gather and group together like they did to hear that speech? So it's going a little bit deeper than just the answers maybe that you thought of for the discussion board post. Try to think of more about the why, the what, the where about each one of those, and you'll be fine. That's the context section. So the sources, cite them, MLA style, source page, and all of that. Then your opinion and conclusion is which, and it's your opinion. There's no right or wrong. And you may decide that it's a tie. But it should definitely state who did a better job at presenting persuasive rhetoric that persuaded you to want to feel something or make you act in a certain way, and which of the appeals was used most effectively. We'll talk a little bit later in the week about other literary devices, and I've already hinted at that. Earlier in the semester, repetition, that's really common in songs, for example, to make people remember them. And there are a lot of repeated phrases. That's a big one. Turning phrases around, like ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you can do for your country, or whatever, what I'm trying to say. Those opposite things, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country, basically, and that's very paraphrased. that's kind of what I'm talking about. Those turns of phrases are also literary devices to help them stick in the minds of the people that are listening and viewing. That brings up another point, that when you quote these speeches in your paper, they must be word for word, because these are very famous texts that people know by heart. So make sure that you have all the punctuation right and that everything is as it should be. And the other thing I want to tell you is the speeches themselves cannot be a source. So you can't list Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speech as one of your sources. You need to find 3 to 5 other sources, 3 to 4 other sources that can give you that context information. And even if you quote the speeches, which is great, or you can paraphrase them, that's fine too. You don't have to do an in-text citation for that, because the readers will know where they're coming from, because you're going to set it up in your introduction and tell them that this is analysis of 2 speeches by Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy. Okay, then Monday I'm going to assign peer review partners, and that means that you are responsible to review someone's paper, and they're responsible to review yours, and you just have one partner. And so your comments should be really thoughtful, since you just have to do one, and really think of ways you can help your partner have a better paper and improve the writing. And I'll post those on Monday, and then the rough draft is due on Wednesday. Believe it or not, a week from tomorrow, the rough drafts are due. Okay, so let's see. This is a kind of a wrap up here. We've already done that one, so midnight you'll have your rough draft turned in. Your peer review partners will be posted on Monday of that week. Sunday the 19th, then you'll have 4 days to revise your paper according to your feedback. And then the peer review has to be done by then. And then you can take that and revise your paper, and the final drafts are due April 22nd. Don't forget, please, to check the course schedule for all the resources I've listed there for the week, and then on the assignment itself. There's so many things that we can't cover since we're not together. Some videos that might be really helpful to you, especially on the 3 classic appeals. And I'm going to try to find a good one for you all about the literary devices that might be helpful as well. Okay, so I hope you're doing okay. Please, I hope you're staying home safe and sound, or wherever you are that you're safe and sound. And I will see you later. Okay, thanks. Bye.